Hello, Katie here from Katie's World. Welcome to my channel. My name is Katie, and in this video, I'm going to take you on a step-by-step assembly how-to of my Stitch Christmas page kit. And if you don't have this kit already and would love to pick it up, please click on the link below this video, and I'll take you to my shop where you'll find this kit as well as many other fun projects, and I pre-cut most everything for you and give you full step-by-step instructions and make it as enjoyable a process as I can, and hope that you enjoy doing these kits. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is first we want to trim the decorative background paper. So I like to use my Fiskars precision trimmer. Okay, that's my, let's see, make sure it's in camera here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is trim this down. Now your instructions are going to tell you 11 3/4 by 11 3/4, but I just wanted to give you a step-by-step of how I do it. Okay, so move it over here. So the first thing I do is trim off the barcode, and I'll just trim it down to 11 3/4. I like to hold it in place so it doesn't move. And it has this bar here, so I just kind of put my finger on there to make sure to hold it in place. And then I'm going to rotate it one turn this way and trim 11 3/4 off of this side. Okay, that's it. Okay, now if you'd like to ink the edges, you can. I would use like a black ink pad and dauber if I was going to do it. I'm actually not going to ink this one. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down. You can use dry adhesive, tape runner, score tape. I am using a liquid glue. This is the Art Glitter Brand Designer Dry It's Clear with the fine metal tip. Now it does dry quickly, and since I'm gluing a large surface, I need to work fast before it dries. Now I'm using a thick piece of cardstock, and so it's fine to use this. I don't think there will be any bumps showing, but if you're using a thinner cardstock, I do not recommend the liquid glue because then you'll see all of the lines and bumps where the glue is. Okay, I'm just going to center it on here. I'm looking at all four corners, and once again, it dries quickly, so you have to work fast with that. So if you're not comfortable with working fast, or if it's your first time using the glue, I would recommend waiting to use the glue on the smaller pieces. You can use a dry adhesive for the large background. Okay, so that'll give you a nice 1/8 inch border all around. I did not trim the background. The background is 12 by 12. So you should receive just 12 by 12 paper in your kit. But if there is a barcode, then you'll have to trim it down to 12 inches to cut that barcode off. So now you're going to have two sides like this. And I apologize, I can't move my camera up any higher. And there's a little camera shake, sorry. So bear with me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just stick the pin in my glue because I don't want it to dry out when I'm not using it. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to bring in the photomats just to show you there's no white cardstock in your kit. This just represents a photo. I don't have a photo glue down yet, so I put a little bit of glue in the center, and when I'm ready to add my photos, I'll just peel this off and add the photo. I just put the white because I think it looks nicer. It shows the frame of the black. So this is going to go just like this. Just going to quickly lay it out here for you. Okay, so just like that. Now, what we need to glue down first, though, is going to be the lights, because those are going to intertwine with the photomats. And I'm going to show you the lights. Each color is in a certain place. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the left side because I'm going to work on the right page first. Okay, so we have this strand. There's two different strands of lights. So this one, it has the green, red, and blue on top, and then the yellow on the bottom. Don't worry about these others. These are going to either get hidden or trimmed off. That one's going to go about here, and then this other one just has the yellow and the red on top, and then a blue on bottom. That's going to go here, and they're going to kind of come off of the page. So I'm just going to lay these down to see the look I'm going for. Now, this is what I mean by intertwine. So you're going to actually cover the light strand with a photo mat, but you want to tuck just the corner under the red light bulb there. Okay, so I just got to get it all laid out. The green also. Okay, so I've got this one the way I like it. And then the bottom one, this one's actually going to, the red's going to tuck under here, but the green and the strand's going to overlap like that. And then this is going to tuck under the yellow. And then you'll just see a little bit of the blue peeking out. See that? Okay, let me move it up so you can see a little bit. Okay, so now the trick is to glue this down. So I am going to use, let me think. This is the tricky part. Okay, so I'm going to use the liquid glue. I'm going to do the top one first. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put any glue on the top part of the red because I know that's going to overlap. And I should not be doing this over my layout. Okay, there we go. The blue, I know I can put it fully on the back. The yellow is going to hang over the edge. I'm just going to do that. Okay. Oh, and these can go down too. Okay, so now I'm just going to take it. I know the red hung off a little bit and the yellow hung off more. So let's see if that works. And I want this to be 1/4 of an inch. Okay, wait a minute. See, the glue dries quickly, so I gotta put it where I want it. Actually, I think that looks good. So basically it's going just across the top. It's hanging off a little bit more of the yellow than the red. I'm going to tuck this under. This you want about 1/4 of an inch of the decorative part showing. Okay, so it's going to go just like that. So now I can go ahead and glue. No, cannot glue this down yet because, well, you can. Okay, wait a minute. The red light bulb has to tuck under. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put my fingers right there. I know I don't want any glue there. Okay, now it looks like that. So now it's safe to put this down. Okay, so now I can still tuck that light bulb under there. Okay, so this one, remember I wanted the red light bulb under, the green is coming across, and then the yellow, it's going to be just like that. That looks good. Okay, so we want it just like that. So here we go. So I know I don't need any glue past here. I don't want any glue on the green light bulb or right here. Actually, I'm not going to put any glue. I'm not going to put any glue above this right now. And I don't want any glue on the yellow either. So I'm just going to put glue on the red and the blue. Okay. So red, blue, and then the strands in between. Okay, turn it over. We know we want the red to tuck under. And we want the green to go over just like that. And I'm just going to stick this under real quick before I press down and make sure it's high enough that this will fit under. Leaving a 1/4 inch there. That looks great. So now I'm going to go ahead and press it down. Okay. Okay. Now, we've got that down. We've got this down. Let's go ahead and stick this photomat down. Okay, I'm going to go under the yellow and about a 1/4 inch of decorative showing. Beautiful. Okay, so now once you do have your photos on, then you can go ahead and put glue on these. I recommend dry adhesive if you're going to put it on a photo, just so no glue oozes out and smears your photo. Or you can leave it. You don't have to put photo, because these are 12 by 12, so most likely they're going in page protectors, so you're not going to need extra glue right there. But I do want to put some glue right here just to hold this down in place. So I don't think I'm going to need glue here, but I'm going to put glue right here. Just to secure that. I'm just going to wipe a little bit so it dries. Okay, now I do want some glue under here just to hold that light bulb down. So right about here, I'm just going to add a line of glue right there. Just a line of glue and press it down. And I'm not going to do that with the red because I want to still be able to slide my photo in. So I won't need that to be able to lift a little bit more. I'm just going to do that with the green. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over. Oh, let me give you actually a look. So you can see exactly how that's lined up. Okay. Okay, so I'm turning it over. I'm going to take my scissors and just press the blade of the scissor against the black, flush with the black, and very carefully trim off that, whatever's hanging over, without trimming the black cardstock. Okay. Oh, I was just thinking if we had done this before gluing the background paper to the black, then you can actually trim this off and have it go to the edge of the decorative paper. See, I trimmed a little bit of my background paper. Oops. Then you can have it go to the edge of the decorative paper as opposed to the edge of the solid paper. But actually, I am fine with this. It's kind of neat coming off the page. So like in this case, how it's kind of lifting, I would prefer to glue that down. But like I said, I won't be able to get a photo in there. So once I get my photo in there, I'll go ahead and glue that down. Okay. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the left. This one's going to be a bit easier. So this one's gonna go about 1/4 of an inch from the left, just looking at the decorative, and then maybe 1 1.25 inches, about maybe 1 inch to 1 1.25 inches from at the bottom. And then this one you want about 1/4 showing here, 1/4 here, and then 1/4 in between, like that. Okay. And before I glue them down, I just want to put these in place to make sure it looks good. Okay, I like that. Now that is going to cover up a bit of this photo. So whatever picture you put there, just make sure the main subject is more towards the bottom right or the lower half of your picture. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just stick the photomats down, starting with this one. What I like about using the liquid glue as opposed to the tape runner or the dry adhesive, when it dries, it hardens, and so it makes your page really sturdy, nice and stiff, as opposed to it's more bendable. It bends more when you use the dry adhesive, so I like making it really nice and sturdy with the liquid glue. Okay, these we want to glue down flat. Okay, now we don't want to put glue on the picture, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take as a sticker backing sheet. This is from my foam squares, but you take any piece of cardstock, anything, straight edge, and I'm going to place it just to the corner of the photomat, and hold it down, turn this over, and now I know where not to add my glue, because I need to be able to add a photo later. I don't want that sticking down. Okay. And just to be sure, I'm going to slide it under there. Yep. All right. And now for the blue one, same thing. Now I just want to double check. I know I wanted that angled down more so you can see more of the blue ornament. Oh, and I should give a shout out, Miss Kate Cuttables, for Thank you to Miss Kate Cuttables for the beautiful title and light bulbs, Christmas lights. She does amazing images. Okay, so again, I'm going to just slide this over here, turn this over. And now for the title, I did add foam squares on the back, but again, I don't want to stick those to the photomats. So I'm going to place this over here and just line that up with the corner. Place this where I want it. And I'm doing about 1/4 of an inch from the left and from the top. So now I'm going to hold this, turn it over, and now I can see not to remove any adhesive from these. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly take all of the tape backing off of these squares. And if you have a roll of foam tape, that's even better, because then you just do a whole strip and just pull it off. The only snag you might run into is in when you get to areas that you don't want it. It's nice having the squares because then you only remove some squares, but if it's a whole line of tape, that makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick that down. Beautiful. Okay, so our left page is done. We don't need the glue anymore, so I'm going to put this back in. And always wipe off the tip. Make sure you don't have any glue stuck on the tip or your pin, because you don't want it to clog up, because it's a really fine tip. Okay, now we're going to put these 2 pages side by side, and this is where we're going to add our stitch. Oh, and also I encourage you to check out the paper piecing videos I have on my channel as well for putting together stitch, and I have stitch and the title is on there as well. But yeah, so definitely check out the paper piecing video if you need that extra help, or just give a quick look. I add tips in there of what to glue down first, and things like that. So I've already added all of the foam squares, but I'm just going to lay it down to see where I want to place it, or him. So he is going to, that looks about perfect. He's going to overlap both pages. And his hand's going to come over this photo just slightly, and then ear and hand over. Yeah, that looks great. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just remove the tape backing from this. Is a little tricky. Okay. So I don't want to remove the tape backing from this part of his hand, also this side right now. So I'm going to grab this And I'm going to grab this and flip. Okay, that just gives me an idea where I'm going to keep the tape backing on. This would also be a great one for a roll of foam tape, which I do have somewhere. I just don't have it handy right at the moment. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention on the liquid glue, I do carry that in my shop. However, only during the warmer season, because if you ship the glue in freezing cold temperatures, it can damage the glue properties. So we do not ship, and insulating it is just very expensive to ship. So it is removed from my shop currently. If you're watching this when this video goes up, it is New Year's. Happy New Year. Or a few days, what is it? January 4th maybe? January, I don't know. It's a few days into January 2021. So Happy New Year. But yeah, I had to remove the glue from my shop because unfortunately I just can't ship when it's cold. But I do have it. So if you happen to be local and want to contact me, we can maybe arrange just a pickup, but I cannot ship it. Even if you're local and I'm shipping, if it's put in a warehouse, in the shipping warehouse or something, and it's cold, just sitting in there, that could damage it as well. So we need to be careful with the glue. All right, so let's go ahead and put him down. Just making sure I got all of the tape backing off that I wanted. All right, so let's see, it's about 1/4 inch from the bottom and about 1/4 inch from the right, from this photo mat and from down here. Oh, I don't know if you can see, there we go. And I just want to make sure he's straight also. Now there's texture in some of the pieces of cardstock have texture, so I'm just kind of using those as my guide. Hopefully he is straight. Okay. So, yep, I can take a photo under there. Uh-oh, I forgot down here. Okay, so I did, it's okay, just be very careful. Get that off, there we go. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that on just real quick. Put tape back on there. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay, so now very, very carefully, we want to cut this off, and we're going to glue, so we don't want to do any double cuts. You need to be very careful and keeping it straight the first time. Okay. Bit of foam. I don't know if I can see that from the front. I'll wait. Okay. It's a little bit harder doing it in the middle here. Let's see. Gotta be very careful. All right. Okay, that looks good. So there we have it. Now I can see a little bit of the foam sticking out. So it is better not to have the foam right on the line where you're going to cut, but that was kind of hard to tell. I'm trying to stick it back in there. But yeah, if you try that ahead of time and kind of see where you're going to cut off, try to make sure the foam squares are more in, like not so close to the edge. Like I have it here because I can kind of see it, but I don't think it's going to be noticeable once it's all said and done. Okay, So now we want to piece these back together on the left page. So we want to line up our pages. Make sure they're perfectly side by side. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. Now, he only has one foam square, so I'm going to go ahead and stick another one on there. And maybe even the little one. Oh, sorry. I was probably off camera right there. I'm just going to cut a skinny one. Now, here's a tip. When you cut down your foam squares, leave them on the paper tape backing. I used to remove all the tape backing from both sides and then cut it in half, and my stickers would get so gummy with the sticky. So cut it while it's still on there and you're good. So I just cut a thin piece. I'm just going to stick it right in there just to give that a little more support. Okay, so I'm going to remove these. It's not overlapping a photo, so it's okay to glue it all the way down. Be sure your pages are not overlapped. They're just touching side by side. They're kissing. And I want to line up the piece and make sure stitch pieces are kissing as well. That way when they're in their page protectors, they'll be separate a little bit, but you can see how it's lined up. Beautiful. Okay. So let me just try to hold that up close so you can see. So when they're together, it meets perfect. Okay. Now, if you don't want to mess with all of the pop-ups, it is easier just to glue it on flat than having to deal with all the pop-ups and stuff. You can do that too. Okay, so the hand is the next one. So this is going to overlap a photo, so I am just going to go ahead and stick this right here and then turn this over, and okay, that works. So I just don't want to remove these two right there. Make sure my pages haven't moved. Okay. You want to look at the bottom, make sure they're flush on the bottom. If for any reason the solid pieces are like different sizes, like if one's a little like a hair taller or something, make sure you line up the bottom edge, because when it's in your book, obviously it's going to be the bottom that's lined up.